Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And this one's one of those where I think, that can't be true, but it is. And this is a jihadist who's in jail, who's asked if he can be deported and prepared to sign a disclaimer saying he will not hold us liable if anything happens to him. So he wants to get deported. The Home Office can't do it. It's just bonkers. So this guy was part of a gang who had been Al-Qaeda trained in Pakistan, came back to the UK and planned to do a bombing similar to which was seen in London in 7/7, and he planned to do that in Birmingham. They were all foiled, arrested, and are serving time in jail. And he wants to be deported. And we don't deport him because it might interfere with human rights. I think we're going mad. So this story, for reference, is from the Telegraph. And their headline is, "Jihadist wants to be deported, but Home Office still can't get rid of him." Irfan Khalid from Pakistan planned a bombing attack in Birmingham alongside Al-Qaeda. A convicted jihadist has renounced his British citizenship, cannot be deported to Pakistan because it would breach his human rights, a document suggests. Irfan Khalid was jailed for planning an attack in Birmingham, similar to London's 7/7 bombings. However, the Parole Board documents show the Home Office has been unable to deport the terrorist despite him wanting to leave. It suggests that deporting him would breach his human rights. Mr. Khalid is a foreign national of Pakistan, the document states. He has renounced his British citizenship. That's awful nice of him. I kind of think he shouldn't get that choice. That should be a choice made for him. He is subject to a deportation order which was not enforceable due to his human rights concerns. The Parole Board said Khalid had even signed a letter of disclaimer facilitating him being voluntarily returned to Pakistan. Khalid was part of a terror gang who planned to turn the UK's second largest city into a little war zone by setting off up to 8 bombs and rucksacks. The jihadist, who was 27 at the time, had travelled to Pakistan where he learnt how to make homemade explosives and trained alongside Al-Qaeda, who had given the plot their blessing. How nice of them. He was jailed for 18 years in 2013 after a counter-terrorism investigation foiled the scheme. Last year, the Parole Board deemed him too dangerous to be released. The details of their decision have now been published. In applying the legal test for release, the panel was required to consider the manageability of Mr. Khalid's risk to the public, both in the United Kingdom and any other country to which he is likely to be returned. That's not our job. Our job is to protect the people of the United Kingdom. The report said evidence had been presented that showed he had made progress in custody and had taken part in accredited programmes to address his extremist offending, but it added the panel examined the UK release plan provided by Mr. Khalid's probation officer and weighed its proposal against assessed risks. Making this ruling, the board said after consideration the circumstances of his offending, the progress made while in custody and the evidence presented at the hearing, the panel was not satisfied that release at this point would be safe for the protection of the public. He was eligible for another parole review in due course. The Home Office said they did not comment on individual cases and the Parole Board declined to comment. He's not our problem. This guy has decided he's not British, so he's Pakistani. He wants to be deported. I would kind of let him. I don't see any value in keeping the man in the United Kingdom at a cost of what is at least going to be a 5-figure, if not 6-figure, depending on where he's accommodated. But inside our prison network. Now, he was jailed for 18 years in 2013, so that could be 2031. So he's potentially got another 6 years here. That's like, we're £500,000 minimum. Possibly more. And it just beggars belief. He is a jihadist, so he wants to bring terror or he did, if you listen to Parole Board, who reckon he's somehow made himself better in jail. So by definition, he would only be a risk to non-Muslims, and he wants to go to Pakistan. Now, the last time I checked, that's a Muslim country. It's actually his own country. So if he was deported there, at that point, he is not our issue anymore. I'm kind of guessing we would tell the Pakistani authorities, this guy's coming to your country, he's one of your own, and we had him in the jail for terrorist activities. At that point, our interest stops and their interest starts. But bear in mind, he's already been to Pakistan and been trained by Al-Qaeda how to make bombs in Pakistan. So I think it's highly unlikely that he would be a risk to the people of Pakistan, who are the vast, vast majority, if not almost all of them, Muslims. He's hardly unlikely going to use his terrorist training to blow them up. But he would be out of our country, he would be away from our responsibility, so we don't need to feed him and, keep him safe in prison. We can just move the problem on. And I for one, now that he's done 12 years, that's fine, off you pop. But their establishment decide, nobody, see, normally what happens is it's the criminal whose lawyer would argue ECHR, human rights, to argue to keep somebody here. Normally when they're criminals or when they've failed asylum and they want to extend their stay here, it's normally their defence that does that. This guy's a complete opposite. He's said, I want to be deported. I'm quite happy to write a letter which is basically saying, you're not responsible for anything that happens to me when I go to Pakistan. Why we would think we're responsible, I don't know. Staying up to date with events around the world can be difficult, where it's impossible to consult a single source for the full story. Narratives that shape public opinion often just reinforce media and corporate-backed vested interests. It's hard to know what information to trust. See what the media is exaggerating, sensationalising, over or under reporting. That's why I've been using Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if it has any political bias, how reliable the reporting is, and who owns them. They even have a blind spot feed that highlights news disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. Take a data-driven view on the news and stay current. Get news from thousands of sources worldwide in one place. I've been using Ground News to help me get all the world's news in one place and give a more balanced opinion on what we read and viewing who is telling us the truth and who isn't. Subscribe via my link to get 40% off the Vantage subscription. It's the one I use to get unlimited access to every feature. Your subscription can not only help my channel, but also help Ground News, as it makes the media landscape more transparent. But under those conditions, I'd be quite happy to say, off you pop, cherry buy now, and save circa £500,000 to £1 million to the public purse, and not have somebody like this in our prison estate. Maybe it's just me. So if you want other people to see this video, do 1, 2 or 3 of the following things. It all helps drive the algorithm. Hit the like button, the thumbs up, that's free and takes you about a split second. Stick some comments below and hit the share button, share on other social media platforms. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notification button for the channel. However, the most important thing of all, unless you're a jihadi who wants to be trained by Al-Qaeda to come to the UK and try and wreak carnage on some of our major cities, then no you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.